Hey young world, I'm OJ. Happy Thursday. We're gonna dive straight in. Today I'm working on a different color paper than I've used before. It's a light tan. I'm gonna call it sandstone. I feel like it actually more accurately represents the color. I just got this paper. I got a whole variety of new paper because I also got a whole new setup. Today I'm testing out my new setup for the first time. This will be my travel setup. Paper is slightly smaller. I'm working on a book instead of a drawing board, a book that is very specifically sized for the paper. The illustration, the drawing can be just as powerful even though it's a little bit smaller physically. Using the black brush pen per usual to map out the line work, get this drawing laid out. We are at the monument and it's a very tall sculpture. I'm gonna draw landscape style, horizontally instead of vertically, to keep it consistent with the video and consistent with all the other drawings. I will be doing some vertical ones at some point, but not today. The perspective of this drawing is very important because it is a slight hill. There are some stairs and ramps that people skate up here in the foreground, plus the big main blocks of the monument up top. We want this to look and feel just like the spot. After the line work is all laid out, I'm coming back through with the black to simply lay in some darks. The light poles just kind of start to differentiate some of the dark areas from the midtones. We haven't worked in any of the highlights yet, but that'll be coming soon. White is going to be our highlight color today, and I'm going to go in and kind of block out some sun rays in the sky. I was going to skip this drawing today, but Matt from Uprise convinced me that I should just go ahead and do it and switch it up and make it an evening drawing. And because of my perspective of where I'm sitting with the sun setting in the west behind the monument, it allows for this drawing to have some amazing sun rays. A lot like the other drawings, except normally I'm doing those in the morning and looking towards the east, watching the sun come up over the lake. If you've been to the monument before, you know that this is a poppin' area. A lot of people, from college kids to just people that live in Logan Square, anybody shopping up and down Milwaukee Avenue, a lot of beautiful ladies, a lot of lurkers hanging around, just, you know, drinking, smoking, whatever they doing. It is just a lively jumping area, and you never know who you're going to find around these parts. Most of the other drawings that I said, you know, I'm doing in the morning, and so there's a lot less people out in general. But if you've noticed, I don't usually include any actual people or figures in these drawings. And, you know, that partially is just because I am looking at this as an architectural thing, as a skate spot thing, but also drawing people and drawing the figures. It adds another level to the equation, but also I'm an animator. And so I typically think of these as animation backgrounds that I could then go and put characters or animations or add things in over top later, whether it be digitally, whether it be traditionally on paper, just layering things on top of it to fit the scene one way or another. Here today at the monument, there's a lot of just people lurking, sitting up around the base of the statue. Lingerers that are just out here maybe talking smack or causing a little bit of trouble. I've actually talked to several of them. They've been very curious about what I'm drawing over here. As I work through with the white, you know, I'm adding a lot of highlights on the edges and the tree branches, things like that. But this is all an experiment. Certain things I thought were just going to have highlights, but because of the three-color color palette we're working with, black, white, and the sandstone of the paper, the color balance needs to be evened out. I put a lot of highlights in the trees up top, and then I even thought it would be great to have like a lower rim light down here on the bottom edge of these trees, show the sunlight coming through the park. But then it really made the statue and the monument, specifically the 3 block at the base of the statues, it made it fall back into the distance. What I thought was originally going to just be highlights, I'm going to turn into a solid white fill just to make it stand out and kind of feel more so like the central focus point of the image. The monument itself is very tall. Anytime you're chilling over here, the canopy of the trees kind of blocks the top part of the statue, and you know, you're not looking straight up trying to necessarily see the statue at the top, you know. So the overall framing of this image is more so how I think of the monument, the park, the people, the skate spot, etc. And you know, there is the eagle all the way at the top. Since the framing of this make it kind of awkward for that, I decided to leave this rectangle up in the top left corner to kind of just add a little illustration of the eagle and tie this image together. Instead of adding a lot of details, I decided to just leave it silhouetted as if it were against the sky, leaving a lot of the details kind of concealed and hidden. The shape makes you instantly recognize that it is an eagle, that it is a bird. If you've seen this statue, I think it will register right away. Because of the paper being smaller, me working with the same size brushes and paint markers, this has allowed me to quickly come in and add a lot of detail. And so even though this is a very, very detailed piece, I don't really want to overwork it. And where I'm at now, I feel like is about that sweet spot. With enough detail, you can tell that I was in here whittling away on this. Great color balance. In fact, the sandstone might be the color in this that's used the least, which means majority of the paper has been covered with either black or white. I'm going to add my signature up here in the top right corner and call it a day. Yeah, Logan Square Monument. I feel like this is a very lively, expressive piece. If you've been to the monument, I feel like you would instantly recognize this. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Thank you very much for watching. New video every Thursday. Like and subscribe. Juice Loops Live. I'll see you then. Peace.